Let's get wild. I don't really know what
This one's on.
both of you. They're red. Right? That one? Yep.
Because it's coming over this too.
Water and Michael. Oh, we have our biggest. And this is-
All right, so, everybody's ready?
Keith is not going to be here?
I'd like to bring the May 13th, 2015 Planning and Zoning meeting to order. Would everybody please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Commissioner Abbott. Commissioner Selberg. Commissioner Buck. Commissioner Azarmi.
Here.
Commissioner Walker. Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Gabrielson.
Way over here, but here.
Commissioner Gordon. And Chairman Flouché.
Present.
Thank you. I have a quorum.
Okay. Some of our standard announcements. Anyone who has not yet signed in, anyone who has not yet signed in, please do so at the table located in the lobby, which, if anybody wishing to speak, please complete the request to speak form located in the lobby, including next to the sign-up sheet. A request to speak form must be completed for each item, including sub-items. Please note that there are stairs on the right, center, and left aisle, and we ask that you use caution when using the stairs. There's also a ramp located at the audience's left. If anyone has written comments, exhibits, petitions, photos, or letters they intend to use at today's meeting, please have 17 copies and give them to the staff member in the back of the auditorium. Staff member, she's got her hand up. If you do not have 17 copies, you may use the table on the overhead camera next to the podium to present your document. If you want your documents to go on record, you must hand them to the clerk after your presentation with the agenda item clearly marked on the document. Members of the public cannot speak to the staff members and that are sitting at the tables with the microphones up front during the meeting. If you have any questions, visit with our gal in the back of the auditorium. A timer will be activated and all speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to make their presentations and statements. Everyone, please either turn off your cell phones or pagers or place them on vibrate during the meeting. If you must receive a phone call, please leave the meeting area and go outside to have your conversation. We also ask that the audience refrain from talking with one another during the presentations and discussions. Today, the Planning and Zoning Commission will hear public testimony and then forward recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. The items with the recommendations made by the Commission will be heard by the Board of Supervisors on Monday, June 1st, 2015 at 9:30 a.m. in the same location, with the exception of any continued items. Everyone attending the meeting is asked to remember that the administrative building and the campus are tobacco-free areas, which means no smoking allowed curb to curb. Also, only bottled water is allowed in the auditorium. No food, soda, coffee, etc. is allowed in the auditorium. If there are any items remaining on the agenda, the commission will break for lunch at 1 o'clock. Approval of last month's minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review them? I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Steve Buck and Paul Selberg.
I didn't even get that far.
I'm sorry.
Man. Yeah, Paul Selberg and Steve Buck. Anyway, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Item number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 1 is an evaluation of a rezone of assessor parcel number 402-63234 from a general commercial zone to a residential recreation zone to allow for a travel trailer as a residential use in the Arizona Strip vicinity. The commission considered this item at their last meeting and continued it for 30 days. Part of that was to obtain some answers to various questions from the applicant. The applicant is here today to answer those questions.
Okay.
Staff recommends approval with conditions.
The applicant is present. Okay, we have no speakers on the item. Would you like to come forward and give us some answers?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name.
Darren Davies.
Okay. When staff contacted you, did they give you a list of items that we're considering?
No, but I think they were more worried about what I was going to do with the fifth wheel trailer all summer long, and what I plan to do is put a garage building up there and to put it in for the summer when I go back home, because I'm originally from Idaho. And so it's locked up and it's not in the open.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
So this travel trailer, is that going to be the only home for you there, or is it like a part-time?
No, yes, just the freight, I'm just looking at it as the only home.
Okay, there's no other mobile home?
There's
or
nothing
anything
there, no.
else? I don't have any questions.
All right, any additional questions of the speaker? Yes.
Chairman, so if I understand it, it's going to be a winter residence then?
Yes, yes, more of a winter residence than anything, but I do want to put a garage there for it to pull the fifth wheel inside of it so I could lock it up so it's not deteriorating through the sun and it's locked up and it's in a real nice residential looking garage.
Any kind of, and I want to hold you to this, but any kind of projected time frame? The next 5 years, 3 years, 10 years to build the garage?
Oh, no, I already started to try and get the building permit for it. That's how I found out this was commercial ground. So I even brought that stuff down, so. Next fall, tell you the truth, as far as erecting one.
Okay, I'm fine.
Okay. Any additional questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve item number 1 per staff recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Selberg and a second by Commissioner Abbott. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Item number 2.
Item number 2 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 306-46057 from an AR2A agricultural residential 2-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential 1-acre minimum lot size zone to allow creation of 2 residential parcels in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff recommends approval, subject to conditions.
Okay. Is the applicant present? Okay. Would you like to address the commission?
My name is Thomas Swider, and I'm available for questions.
Okay. Any questions of the speaker? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass according to staff recommendations.
Okay.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Gabrielson, a second by Commissioner Buck. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Item number 3.
Item number 3 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 35101-005 and a portion of assessor's parcel number 35101-020 from an AR36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to a CRE 36A commercial recreation 36-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for an animal park and sanctuary in the Golden Valley vicinity. We received comments from the BLM and the Arizona Game and Fish Department on this project. Staff recommends approval, subject to conditions.
Is the applicant present?
Entertainment by Arc.
$1, isn't it? I think it's $1. Was it lunch?
Should hang it.
We have any questions of the speaker?
Yes, Chairman. I'm familiar with the White Hills operation, and we supported it when it was in existence. Is this a continuation of that? Seems like you're growing from White Hills, you went to Valentine, and now you're 175, you're going to a Mammoth facility. Is that?
No, Commissioner. Good morning. My name is Jonathan Kraft. I'm the founder and director of Keepers of the Wild. No, Keepers of the Wild will stay in existence. We have 175 acres in Valentine. That will stay there. We're very actively building there at the moment. This will be an additional endeavor of approximately 1,800 to 2,200 acres, and it will be called Wild Planet.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So this is basically, the intention is like any other business, revenue driven, right? So you're going to do some marketing, have some tours out there, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, is that going to be any, helping any entertainment like Hollywood or anything like that? Do you work with the, filmmakers or anything like that?
We do. We work with a variety of agencies, a variety of animal rights group, anywhere from PETA to IFA, GFAS, World Wildlife Fund, so on. We do also a lot of documentaries, as you might have seen some. I believe that this facility is going to be needed, particularly within the next couple of years, since there's a lot of bills in Congress being passed by animals no longer being allowed in circuses or entertainment field. And so they need a place to go. We like to accommodate them.
I read the list of the animals that you might have in there. Have you in the past worked with the schools and Board of Education in terms of field trips and all that? Is that something that, are you open to it?
Yes, and we do that currently. We're very educational oriented, and that's what this specifically will be. Very educational, no interaction with animals. People can't walk or drive through the facility. They will actually be delivered to different platforms where they can observe animals, so that it is non-invasive to the animals.
So you do have staging areas that, the kids or, students can come sit and then they would be able to see the animals or, learn from it, right?
Absolutely.
That's great.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Just for point of interest, has there been any response from anybody in the neighboring properties? Any comments?
Generally, there would be something in the packet, but there's nothing. Is that correct? No objections from the neighbors?
It's way from.
That is correct.
And also noting that even in the front page of the newspaper, in terms of if someone were to be concerned, I would think that would give them the opportunity, and there was no one, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
Too far away from all those service stations.
And see where it's going to be located. I don't think there's any immediate housing.
No, there isn't. Yeah.
I can't get my map up again, but I think, it's a good project. I really do. I think that it can
Absolutely.
bring a lot to Golden Valley. Golden Valley needs something as well as everyone else to, bring more public and awareness and, just everything it's got going for it. And I have been out to your other facilities when it was in White Hills and out in Valentine, and you do keep it really nice and clean, and you do a good job with the animals of maintaining them, giving them back of their natural habitats as possible.
Thank you, Commissioner.
If I may add, the benefit to the school system and, the kids, because these days they're only on the books and all that. So this is amazing. This is going to be great.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Where does the funding primarily come from to support a project like this? Because it sounds like you're going to spend a lot of money almost putting in roads and...
That's correct. We, me and my partners, of course, own the property. We do have current funding in line. One of our partners is putting up most of the money. And so we're pretty much ready to go. We estimate it to be, including our contingency, about a $40 million project.
Is there grants, the government have grants to help you on things like this?
We are always working on grants, and sometimes, of course, we get them, but we're not depending on grants for this particular project. We depend on independent financing to make sure that this will happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I was a supporter of two animals. Are you still keeping that program where you can adopt one of the animals and
Absolutely.
Cool. That's great. We did that for 3 years, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any additional comments or questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioners.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass according to our staff recommendations and
Okay.
Second the motion.
Still got it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gabrielson, a second by Commissioner Abbott. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
How far is it from 68, this property?
A mile and a half.
a little bit further than that. It's Public Beach Road is kind of an unknown kind of road out there. And Chloride Road is way out by the landfill, so you're looking, 24 miles from 68 this way, and then probably closer going west off of 93 coming across. It'll be closer, and I think it's the Legend Valley Ranch areas, just north of that, kind of where it sets. Yeah. So it's a ways off the road,
So the
but
main
it's
access is going to be from 93?
you can get to it two different ways, I would think. There's a couple different ways you can get back to there.
It will be off of Cottonwood Road, and our legal access is Mabel.
Okay.
Off of 93. Thank you.
Yeah, so it'll be a nice project out there.
Okay. Item number 4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 4 is an evaluation of a request for a zoning use permit on Assessor's Parcel Number 306-46015Y for an assisted living facility in an agricultural residential zone in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff recommends approval with conditions.
Is the applicant present? Okay. Please state your name.
My name is Sybil Miller, S-Y-B-I-L, Miller.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your project here.
The project is in a home that I currently own. That home has 5 bedrooms and it's quite large. I think it'd be the best use for that home. And I'm in contact with a lot of other people in the assisted living community and business. This one is going to be for elderly, not specialize in just the elderly. And we can have 10 according to the licensing, but we plan on 9, if,
Yeah.
maximum.
Well, you got state licensing requirements.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that. There's a lot of that we're working on in conjunction with this, but this has to come first.
Yeah, okay,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
So your home, I assume that, was designed as a residential home, right?
It was designed, but it was also designed with wheelchair access in mind,
Okay.
so it lends itself to that.
Okay, so you don't see any problem in being in compliance with, I know that there are some,
There's a bunch of them, but since the home was designed for wheelchair access, all of those rules are in play. I do have a property plan here.
oh, this is wonderful. I'm familiar with that. About 15 years ago, I helped another group, husband and wife, doing the same thing.
Yes.
And I think it's a noble idea,
It's needed.
a much better quality for those going to be the tenants in there
Yes.
than, being.
My mother passed last year, and I found that the need is really there, then we don't realize it until we are in the position of needing it, of course. And we all get there, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, any additional questions of the speaker? Thank you so much. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make
make
a
a-
motion. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to pass and approve according to staff recommendations.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Gabrielson, a second by Commissioner Selberg. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is an evaluation of a request for a renewal of a zoning use permit on assessor's parcel numbers 306-03-205A and 205B for a dog breeding kennel in an AR agricultural residential 1-acre minimum lot size zone in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff recommends approval as indicated in the staff report.
Is the applicant present? Okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here?
Hello, my name's Justin Orr. I'm representing for my wife, Bridget Sharp. She's the owner of the kennel. Right now, she's at home with my son. And all we do is just breed and sell Pomeranians. And we've been doing it for 11 years straight.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
How many animals and what do you have out there?
At least about 12 right now.
12 what?
Pomeranians, they're dogs.
Okay. So the application, I think it started in 2004, the resolutions that CN is going on to 2015. So is this something that you're thinking about carrying on for a while, or is it like,
Yes, sir.
okay, until,
Till we all die and pass away.
All right. Any additional questions of the speaker? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman, for staff. Is this normal just for having a 2-year renewal? Is 2 years normal?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Mr. Abbott, 2 years has been normal. There are a few kennels out there that once they've kind of gone through their initial 2-year period and have a clean record, they have requested from the commission and receive a 3-year period.
Thank you. I just noticed that it had been some difference. Thank you. So they could request longer.
Longer period?
Mr. Abbott, yes.
We always do the 2 years, so.
yeah, 2 years?
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
On that note, you haven't had any issues with, people, neighbors, anything? Okay,
None whatsoever. Our neighbors love us.
okay.
Okay, any additional questions? Guess not, all right.
Well, because he hasn't had any problems and he's had it so long, can the commission give him, give
We can
him
do
a
whatever we
3-year, or
want.
does he have to come back and ask for that specifically?
No, we can modify the number of years.
Because I know that his place is nice and clean. I know that they do take care of everything, and coming back every 2 years unless he had a violation or problems, I would like to see people who do good and keep up and do what they say they're going to do, at least, get that little extra.
Okay, well, everything's in
The
the
only thing,
motion.
Crystal, is that it's a use permit, and just in case a neighbor next door shows up on the next time and says, hey,
Right.
my property is in jeopardy or whatever, which
Right.
I doubt it very much in this case, but, if, that's the only reason that you want to have some intervals.
Okay.
So, because it's a use permit. It's been going on forever, but it's a use
Right.
permit.
So,
Chairman,
Yes.
you say you had 12 Pomeranians today, or on an average. Is there any limitation? Could he bring in 100 German Shepherds, Pomeranians, and whatever? No, I'm sorry, I didn't answer the way you were there.
Because what our permit or the license is on that property is 15 dogs total. So we cannot exceed 15 or more.
Okay, very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I have a question. Is that 15 litter and plus breeding, or?
To my knowledge, it's just 15 in the kennel. But if we have a litter, we'll just take it to the other house. But it does still not count for the litter. Because you still can't judge how many puppies a dog's going to have. She can either have 2 to 7.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman,
Yes.
members of the commission, typically, dogs in a kennel are counted when they're 4 months or older.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
My
Interesting.
first time.
Okay, any additional questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to press for the renewal and make a motion to up to it to 3 years as long as there's any complaints or any violations against him. And then per staff recommendations on the rest.
Second.
Well, a motion by Commissioner Gabrielson, a second by Commissioner Buck. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you. Number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 6 is an evaluation for a rezone of assessor's parcel numbers 314, 35, 029, and 030 from an AR agriculture residential 15-acre minimum lot size zone to an agriculture residential 7-acre minimum lot zone and an agriculture residential 5-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for the creation of 2 residential parcels. Might point out that the reason for this request is to complete the execution of an estate that a gentleman left. I will also note that staff recommends approval of the rezone subject to the following. The condition number 1 was left incomplete, which I apologize. It should read, this property will be rezoned to agriculture residential, 5-acre minimum lot size, and agriculture residential 7-acre minimum lot size. No more than 2 parcels will be created with this zone.
Okay. Okay, everybody got that? Is the applicant present?
My name is Helen McMains.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
Well, I used to have 17 and a half acres, and it was years before it was a 15. When I bought it, it was years when you could get it for 2.5. Well, we have 17, and I sold 5 to my friend in 2007 or 8, and I had no idea that it had changed. I'm from Idaho, and I come down here in the winters because that's where my folks have a place, so we come down. And so I had bought this from them years ago. And so then she went to get a permit, and they said, you have to have 15 acres. She called me, and I said, I did not know that. So I came down, and we did a rezone so that she could get it. And then I got a letter, and it put my other 12 and a half in jeopardy. So when I sold this to Lloyd Moore, I told him, I said, this letter states that we have to have a rezone for you to get a building permit. He said, fine. So he passed away. And so he gave it to his sister who owned the ranch previously. And her husband had died. So now she's wanting to put a home on this 5 acres. It also put mine in illegal because I already had an established, I have a mobile home there, a 66 by 52, 12 by 66. And so it put both of us in jeopardy, and so I came in to get a rezone on both of them. So when I went to get the building permit, I said, can we get it? And maybe they misunderstood me, I don't know, but I came in for the rezone because of that reason, and I'm doing this for my sister because she's older for the 5-acre parcel, and mine is the 7.5-acre parcel.
Okay, so we're just
Correcting a problem.
correcting a problem is what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you so very much. I'll entertain a motion.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Abbott, a second by Commissioner Buck. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 7.
Item number 7 is an evaluation of a request for a renewal of a zoning use permit on assessor's parcel number 308-11045 for a kennel and cattery in an AR 5A agricultural residential 5-acre minimum lot size zone in the chloride vicinity. Staff recommends approval as indicated in the staff report.
Is the applicant present? Applicant's not present, okay. We have no speakers on the item.
And, Mr. Chairman, this one, Crystal, is for 3 years.
Yep, I'm very familiar with this one.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, I can answer it. We go down there, he has it cleaned. Once a year, he gets a roll-off and deep cleans. Meanwhile, he has front-load service every week. He maintains, the animals are very healthy. They have space to roam and be happy. So he does, medical on them. He's actually very good, so I see no problem with this.
Awesome.
Good. All right. Any additional questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to approve this per staff recommendation.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Selberg and a second by Commissioner Gabrielson. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 8.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 8 is an evaluation of a renewal of a zoning use permit on Assessor's Parcel 209-17008 for a domestic animal rescue and sanctuary in an agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone in the Ed Camp vicinity of Mohave County. This particular request is also for a 3-year extension. We did hear back from Environmental Health. They are in good standing with that department.
Okay, good.
Staff recommends approval of the 3 years.
Okay. Is the applicant present?
Hi, I'm Cherie DeLynn. It's nice to see you all again. 3 years has gone by really fast. I did want to start out by saying it's very sad for me to be standing here and John Montgomery is not sitting there. So I do miss him, and that was a very sad event when he passed away. So he was my mentor from the very beginning, and this rescue would not be where it is without his help. So anyway, I just wanted to express that. And I'm open for questions.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
We have done some improvements out there, and I don't know if you would like to see this or not, but we did put in, can it just go right here?
Sure.
I just wanted you to see. We applied for a grant to redo our kennels, and we were going to go with the same thing we had before, which is chain link with corrugated tin on either side. But when we figured it out, it was cheaper to go with the concrete. It took us forever to do it, but they're still the same size at 6 by 12. They have corrugated tin roofs on the back half, and then they have shade cloth on the front half of the 12 feet. They are in 3 to 4 inches of sand on the ground, and the concrete walls are 4 inches thick, and we just put them on either side of, we left the chain link as mesh for in the center of the wall. Now we don't have to worry about replacing them ever again. And there's no fence fighting or nothing. So anyway, they're very, very nice kennels now, and you can't see him, but A-Ball's in the doghouse with his blanket and stuff. So anyway, those are what our kennels look like now, except for the 6 on the other side, which we kind of ran out of money, so we'll do those later. But we have installed a misting system again. We started out with one, but it kept getting clogged because of the well water. It's very hard. So we put in a water softener, and so they have a misting system during the summer. And we also, you'll notice that the doghouse is up on a tire. All of the igloos are up on tires, and we have put in a heating system with a water heater and so the pipes run underneath the doghouse inside the tire. And so during the wintertime, they will have a nice warm home to go into when it's cold.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'm familiar with this project. It's a sample for, all the sanctuaries how it should be. I mean, they're really taking care of it very well. And they have like areas that they get exercise. They have, it's a A-plus motel for these animals. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. And we all miss John. We all miss John Montgomery.
Yeah. Anything else?
Anything else? Any additional questions or comments?
And we still do we run 60 to 70 dogs all the time and about 120 cats, so just what we're permitted for.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve for a staff recommendation.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Zami, a second by Commissioner Buck. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Number 9. Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 9 is an evaluation of a proposed ordinance limiting and prohibiting loud, disturbing, and unnecessary noise in the unincorporated county areas and providing for enforcement and penalties. Actually, last year, we were approached about the possibility of revising the noise ordinance. The county has a kind of a very limited noise ordinance that applies to only residential areas. And we were approached about the possibility of expanding that and also making it a little more clear as to what a violation looked like. We presented some alternatives before the Zoning Ordinance Review Committee. They definitely served as a very good sounding board. And the ordinance you have in front of you is actually the recommendation of that committee. It makes a couple of changes in the way the noise ordinance was, or how it functions. The current noise ordinance applies only to residential areas. This noise ordinance does not have a specific limitation in where it applies. It applies throughout all unincorporated areas of Mohave County. The other one just said also, if the noise is annoying or whatever, unreasonable or something like that, and somebody files a complaint, the sheriff's office then can cite on a second-class misdemeanor. The ordinance that was recommended by the committee, first of all, it's based on ordinances currently in effect in both the city of Kingman and the city of Bullhead City. So some version of this ordinance is in effect in both of those cities. It works off of prima facie evidence. So if you, let's say, have, a stereo in a backyard that's playing extremely loud, just that noise, if in the sheriff's deputy's opinion is disturbing, unnecessary, can disrupt the normal life patterns of the neighbors, they can cite. They don't have to have any kind of specialized equipment or, be trained. We are relying on the sheriff's office to enforce this because many of the aspects are time sensitive. So it would be a violation between 10 in the evening and 7 in the morning, but not the remainder of the day. The ordinance also exempts out several noise sources that are experienced during the normal conduct of businesses such as construction. Also, another feature is that it tries to distinguish noises and tries to distinguish how disturbing noise is in urban areas versus rural areas. In other words, in an urban area, a much lower noise level is likely to be disturbing to the neighbors as opposed to the rural areas where, particularly if you have sizable acreage, there is quite a tolerance there for noise. The penalty is the other thing I will point out is that the noise ordinance very clearly applies to roadways and vehicles in motion as well as property, which is another reason why it is enforced by the county sheriff's office. The penalty would be that of a Class 2 misdemeanor. So the penalty does not change from this ordinance to the other. This ordinance does recommend or does have in it the repeal of the original ordinance. That's more for clarity and to avoid confusion. You know, you don't want the officer to get confused about what ordinance he's citing somebody for, and I've even had this happen before where you have defense attorneys saying, well, you know, they shouldn't have been charged with this particular ordinance, it should have been this other one. It makes it a lot clearer when you get to court what ordinance is being violated. The department supports the Zoning Ordinance Review Committee and the recommendation of this ordinance.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I also say that the commission should have received a number of questions from a citizen as well. Those should be in your packet.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of questions.
Yep.
I'll just say it this way. Can a neighbor, for example, where can they go to cite a complaint against someone, or do they have to just call? How's that handled? If a neighbor, we had an incident just recently, it was very serious out in the Camelback area, and it was on the papers. Loud noise, working on automobiles late next door. The guy talked to him, didn't do any good, so he started shooting into their building. That's serious. Who can a neighbor like that go to start getting results on a problem like that?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Mr. Abbott, the issues were where the individual is creating a great deal of noise, and also, you know, they start inappropriately probably using firearms. That is definitely a law enforcement issue, and the place to go is the sheriff's department.
Is there a place to file a complaint and them be sent a notice?
For the noise
Yeah.
and the law, as far as I know, it's a call to the sheriff's office.
Mr. Chairman?
Thanks.
Commissioner Abbott, if I'm understanding the new proposed ordinance, even if there's no shooting involved, the noise is high enough, they should contact, Mohave County Sheriff. And that's why I think the new ordinance is being drafted to use common sense, because, well, they're not going to be like, they don't have any equipment to, calculate, what is the decibel, whatever. But as long as it is going from one neighbor to another and it's disturbing, that basically causes, to trigger to be able to cite. Same thing on the roadways of Mohave County. If there is a boombox, somebody is driving with one of those loud, vibrating boomboxes, same thing. They don't need to say, oh, well, it wasn't so many decibels, it was like that. As long as it is noticeable.
Well, it can become a very serious problem.
Right, it is,
So
it is.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's important that
Address.
people know they can go to someone, and I would think of the sheriff's department, or the police department, number one, but
This gives a tool to the Mohave County Sheriff to be able to impose citation.
Okay, we have one speaker on this item. Mr. Bishop?
Good morning. R.G. Bishop. I live at 251 North Friendship Pass, Kingman, Arizona. And first of all, I applaud the county working so hard to upgrade and update ordinances to increase protection to the citizens. That's their main function and goal, and I know it's a very difficult thing to do. But I read this new proposed ordinance, and I believe what I found was some potentially unpredictable outcomes. The sheriff's office is not really equipped to test anything. You're leaving it to a subjective decision for someone to be dispatched pretty much immediately and show up and say, yeah, I hear that, that's noisy to me, I should do something about it. And then they go and notify or talk to the people involved. That works great for boom boxes and noisy cars. Doesn't work so great for industrial complexes that are unmanned. Doesn't work very well for that. Another thing is, it doesn't specifically state that the 10-foot and the 40-foot radius of the property line is inside the property line or outside the property line, which would make this the first time I'm aware of that the county would allow you to infringe on the next property by 10 or 40 feet to make this noise level. It's not explicit, and that might be an unfortunate outcome. This notification to the sheriff's office, I would assume, would be a phone call to the emergency number, and that they would dispatch from that. But I have seen no evidence that the sheriff is actually set up to do that. I guess
Go
that's...
ahead, you're fine.
So that's really my concerns. There are some potentially unforeseen issues, and it's very subjective. So.
What do you think about that, staff? Chris?
Well, Mr. Chairman, where the speaker stated it's not explicit whether it's inside or outside the property, it's very clear it's beyond the property line. And the whole idea was, gosh, it gives this echo, I don't know what's wrong with it. This might be better. Yep. So on the enforcement, we looked at other cities' ordinances. And it's really hard to enforce a decibel. I think that's what the speaker want. But police officers, when they go out, have to make a decision. We've thought that it's enforceable if they hear it at a certain distance. It's clearly audible. That's what it said. If it is, then it's a violation. If it's not a violation. So we can make a decision. Try to keep it simple. And it's clear, the distance from the property line, it's 10 feet in urban areas and it's in rural areas. So that was the idea that similar to the ordinance that the cities or other jurisdictions.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may add, again, with the sources and resources and tools available in the Mohave County, it is a common sense version of what we can do, and that's why you see that 10 feet, because when you go to the urban areas, setbacks are about 5 feet from the property line, can be as close as 5 feet that we have, and then another 5 feet to the neighbor. So that's where that 10 came from, and obviously in the rural area, there's a little bit more elbow room, so that's what we're talking about. And when Mr. Bishop suggested about the industrial, that is being governed, all it says, but when they do the ordinances, industries and commercial and all that, they have their own set of rules and application on that one. So that is basically something that will be addressed as the application is being reviewed by the Mohave County for that particular industry. So just want to clarify on that one.
If I may, excuse me, but any noise that infringes on a residential area, regardless of source, is what this is all about, if I understood it correctly. So it doesn't matter if it's an industrial source or a private source or a business source. So I know that there are industrial standards that are very specific, that are other ordinances. I failed to see how your comment allows that this does not affect that somehow. Your comment that industrial noises are a separate issue does not make sense to me, that's all.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions of the speaker? Okay, well, thank you so much. Chris, what are we doing here?
Recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, it is the department's request and the committee's request that the commission make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors for adoption.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
This item was well needed, and it was way past due, and I think that, that's why I believe that it's been, in a way, expedited to go before the board ahead of the zoning ordinance at this time. And as all of us agree, I think it's well needed.
Yeah.
I have a comment. I agree with you 100%. We have a fine sheriff's department. They can't respond to most of these calls. I'll put it that way. So therefore, there's no results yet. Is there any way to file a complaint from someone to these people and them get an official notice? Because many times, I know what I'm talking about. A phone call will go to the sheriff's department. They don't show up because they're busy. And they got, our sheriff's department is, and nothing happens to it till it elevates to what happened out in Camelback a few months ago. That concerns me.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Abbott, I believe that, if the ordinance is in place, it becomes a civil matter anyway, because, what you're saying is, something that two neighbors are having issues, if they document it and all that, I think that is open for,
How's it going to be documented, though? That's my...
Well, they can video, they can, take the, these days, a lot of complaints are being documented that way, and, will be presented in a case if they want to do that. But if the fact is that, let's say that a neighbor is practicing their drum in the garage, and they're going at it, and they're having, a whole bunch of teenagers at that, at least they have the source to call Mohave County Sheriff. If sheriff stops by and sees that evidence, then of course, they can cite it. But I believe that, as long as ordinance is in place and violation is there, I believe that, that can be done. Right now, the problem is that we don't have a proper ordinance that would be able to hang our hat on.
Well, I agree. I would hope it would be looked at a little harder by having the ordinance.
I have a comment. But the concerns that Commissioner Abbott has, the concerns that Mr. Gene Bishop has, if we were to go ahead and pass or, put this as per staff recommendations, is there a way to bring it back in a year? And that way we can reevaluate what changes might need to be done, where there is a weak point in it, or if it's working fine. I think that doing that would give us that opportunity to, revisit and make sure that this is working for Mohave County, or what does it need to be changed, or how do we need to reposition or draw or bring, things of, concern to it.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I believe that option is always available.
Yeah,
And
it's
not only
always-
that, I believe it's a very positive step forward, and it can be, it's much better than what we had before. And as you said, it can be examined, and, again, a lot of this is going to be complaint-driven. So I believe that it is going to, come back to us if there is any issues.
Right.
Okay. Any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to approve item number 9 according to staff recommendation.
Second motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Selberg and a second by Commissioner Abbott. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
I'd like to see that put in there that we revisit this in 1 year, that it comes back up to the table
Well,
inside that motion. Otherwise, it's going to get dropped and then we won't look at it.
yeah. Do you want to redo your motion?
We already voted on it.
If the board wishes me to, I can. My feeling is that any commissioner or anybody can request that in a year.
Yeah.
And I think it's, I think that would be fine.
I think we should look
Crystal-
for some kind of a tickler file so that we don't have to think about when's it coming up.
Yeah, I think that maybe staff could remind the board that it's been 1 year, and does the staff want to review it at that time? I think that would be fine to amend my motion to have staff bring it up as an item for discussion in 1 year, in case there's any concerns with it.
Okay.
I'm okay with my second. I think our system would kind of take care of it, like Maddie was saying earlier, but I think it might be a good stopgap.
Okay.
So
You okay with that, Crystal?
Good.
All right.
We need a second to the amendment, please.
I already seconded.
Okay, sorry. excuse me.
Yeah, Abbott
And
did
I
that.
changed my second to agree.
Paul made it and Bill seconded.
And I revised mine
I should say all in
to
favor.
agree with him.
Okay, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 10.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 10 is an evaluation of a request to update the currently adopted Mohave County building codes to the 2012 editions of the International Code Council codes and the 2011 edition of the National Electric Code, and incorporating the suggested code amendments developed by the Mohave County Building Code Advisory Board.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, can I say a few things on this item?
Absolutely.
Before discussion? This item was in front of the commission back in 2013, in September, and that time the commission continued it. And until such a time when it becomes more timely. And one condition was that the state fire marshal approves the 2012 fire codes, which is happening right now. So that makes this item timely, and we are actually a little behind schedule with that, bringing it back to the commission, but we think it's very timely now. In addition to that, there are two other items that makes it timely. Is the Insurance Services Office that provides insurance for any new construction, works with the insurance companies, is reevaluating the county. And if we stay on the current 2006 outdated code, then the county's rating will go down from 3 or 4 to pretty close to the bottom, to 9, which is 10 is the bottom if you have no code, but the 9 is a bad. So that can have implications for anybody who wants to get insurance for a new building. It doesn't impact the ones that already have insurance. But the third item that ties into the flood control, National Flood Insurance Program. Now that's a mandatory insurance for anyone in the floodplain. They don't get a loan unless they had floodplain insurance. And that rating will also slip down close to the bottom. And that has an impact, a measurable impact. It's for all existing insurance too. So it could be somewhere at least $60,000 a year, but probably more for all county residents as a total number. And that will remain, every single year. And then the third issue is that flood control is, in the past 5 years, doing excellent, and as a result, we're receiving grants for flood control projects. And we are one of the leading communities in Arizona. Other communities don't get that. Probably we are the leading county that gets the most grants. It's because of our good activities. If we stay on the old building code, our rating goes down, there's a chance we will not get the grants. And the impact could be very substantial. In the past 5 years, we got $2.8 million, which we put into county projects. And just two examples. One is we're working on a project in Beaver Dam where we lost homes back in 2005, 2011. We got about $700,000 grant on it. And then also we are working on a grant for Sunrise Vistas down in the Fort Mohave area that looks like we're going to get. So in addition to that, because of our good efforts, flood control district's very good work, we're getting grants for the cities, for basically all cities. We started with the city of Kingman, probably Bullhead City, and Lake Havasu, and it's all going to be channeled through the county, and because of our good efforts. So that would be the risk if we lose the rating. Now, this item was discussed with the Building Code Advisory Board to get an input from the contractors. And back in 2013, they also continued this item. There were some opposition saying that there is a lot of bureaucracy in these codes and make unnecessary requirements. So we discussed it with the Building Code Advisory Board, and we've been evaluating it since 2013. And as a result, we identified quite a few items that would make it really difficult or more costly for contractors and not necessary. So what we're recommending in the proposed ordinance that make amendments to the building codes and take those items out, and where actually don't take it out but keep applying the 2006 building codes for those items. And the Building Code Advisory Board basically agreed with that. We have 7 members. It's made up of engineers, contractors, all local people, and they voted 6-1 to go with that option. And then finally, I want to add another item. The city of Kingman approved the 2012 building codes a couple of years ago. And but Lake Havasu City is just adopting it, and we just got a memo, I just got it this morning, where the city, Lake Havasu City Building Division Manager identifies a bunch of items that could be also bureaucratic and also difficult to comply with, and causes more bureaucracy, and it's hard, would be hard for home builders and for us and an agency to enforce. And so I just got it this morning, and you have it. I think the clerk distributed to every one of you. So I'd like to make a recommendation to this commission to approve that new ordinance adopting the new building codes with the condition that the additional items marked on the memo from the Lake Havasu City Building Division Manager be also added to the ordinance as amendments to modify those items and stay with the 2006 code for those items.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may add to that, Commissioner Silberg, Commissioner Walker, and myself were part of that code advisory, and this has been a project that was going on for the past 2 years at least, and we basically, Mohave County is the only jurisdiction that gives private sector engineers, architects, home builders, framers, and all that an opportunity to review and work with, building department and Mohave County to dissect problems that is there. So there was a very open discussion, some disagreements and all that, but it was very much working it and analyzing the whole 2012 ordinance or the IBC International Building Code by the members, by the staff, and all that. So just for your information, IBC or Uniform Building Code used to be like every 6 years they would come out with codes. Now they're changing it to every 3 years. And, obviously, it is very important to be updated, as Nick already mentioned, And so what we did is, when we reviewed the whole IBC 2012, we took all the items that was a major cost factor and non-essential. And this way, all the sharp corners are gone. And pretty much what it is a 2012 body and a 2006 engine in there, which is going to be not harmful, but using common sense again. And I should say that, Mohave County is doing a great job. Other jurisdictions like Kingman and Havasu unilaterally just put it on the agenda, city council passes it, and it becomes an ordinance without any trial and error. And then they have to face the consequence of what they have adopted. So it is well drafted. This latest information that was given by Director Hunt, I think is going to be an additional safety for the builders and all that. They complained about it, or they basically they see it as a big issue. Like, give you an example, a couple of items that is in there. A fire sprinkler for the housing, for residential housing. That is, come too close to like $8,000 per home. And so if you have a home on the average in Mohave County, $120,000, $150,000, that's a big chunk of change. So that is one item that is not adopted. Or energy code, something California is very known for. And I don't know the exact dollar amount, but I would say that, if you really fully comply with the green energy code that they have, it would be in thousands of dollars on that one. Or the other one, I believe, there was one other item that we had in there. The bracing and requirement of any residential to have excessive bracing in terms of like having an engineer reviewing it, stamping it, and all that. So a lot of these sharp corners that were not applicable in our area were all basically modified. So in my opinion, being an engineer, being a builder, I would say that it is a very practical ordinance, and I would definitely recommend to the Board of Supervisors to consider and adopt that. Just want to make sure that everybody knows. If you have any question, I might be able to answer.
I have a couple. You mentioned sprinklers. That's not being applied for single resident homes?
No.
Not a requirement?
Well, in what we are proposing, it is not.
Okay. I like what you said, that there's no additional cost or unessential things put into this to affect builders, because I've been through a few up and down the economy, and until this building industry recovers, we don't come out of the recession.
That's
So
right.
True.
are we doing everything we can here to help builders versus doing things to slow them down?
Most definitely that is
You
the
think?
case. And I can tell you that I'm about to start a subdivision with 342 homes and another one with 65 homes. And if there is anybody in Mohave County that's going to get,
Curious about it.
I'm going to be number one on the line. And the whole thing is that Mohave County is using common sense by dissecting it and double checking everything and not adopting it blindly. And say, okay, well, now we'll talk about, consequence. Give you an example. They're asking about like a locking mechanism for the outside condensing units of the air conditioning. And the reason behind that is because, teenagers, they
Steal them.
they get high on it or whatever. Well, if the parents are not careful about their kids, it should not be imposed on the end users, in our opinion. So there are a whole bunch of items that, as I said, as you can see, talking about different issues. But as I said, it seems the way we looked at it in the past 18 months and now, all the unnecessary items that is going to impose additional cost that is not needed is being all taken out, and it stays with the same code that we have, which is 2006.
I have a question for Mr. Hunt. Do you agree with that statement, all the unessential, unnecessary costs that make sense have been taken out, or not any added? Because I respect how Nick feels and looks at things very much, as I do Meddy's.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Abbott. Yeah, I agree full-heartedly. The advisory board worked on this since 2003, a year and a half, almost 2 years now. We've been reviewing it, and we made a good effort to identify, and I hope we identified everything. We tried to make a good effort, like Commissioner Ozarmi pointed out. We learned from the city of Kingman. They just adopted it, but then they paying the price. You know, some contractors are not happy with it. We did work with the contractors, and we asked their input, and I think we identified most of it. I can't guarantee you we identified everything, but we worked with architects and contractors and get their input in it, and we tried to make a good effort. And I think we got to the point, actually, where I believe it's going to benefit contractors and everybody else, because we can say that we built it to the latest codes, but yet we don't put in unnecessary requirements that make it difficult.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to also mention that, we can always amend the code at any future date that we want to if we do come across items that are not realistic or cumbersome or expensive. So someone can bring that up to the county, and we can discuss that at a future date as well.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Also, I'd like to comment that as Director Hunt mentioned, City of Kingman adopted this about 2 years ago. So in part of our review, we invited the building official of the City of Kingman to be in a meeting and share his experiences with us. So
Is this going to be an ongoing committee that you were on to do this?
It is a code advisory as needed as they go through basically adopting new code, which is Mohave County is the only one that is doing that. And it's, that's wonderful that they're doing that. But again, the building official of the Mohave City of Kingman, after 2 years that they were practicing with it, he was able to elaborate on their experiences. And all of us that we've been involved with construction, we have connections, like Paul being an architect for so many years, knows, understands, and works in different jurisdictions. I contacted some of the people from Phoenix area that I know, Mr. Cliff Paul, who's been a structural engineer for 30+ years, and share with him, what our intention is and get the feedback. So there was a lot of feedback coming in. Toby Orr was one of the group members that, he's involved. So there was a lot of different people involved in terms of collecting the information, putting it together, and coming up with a clean, common sense ordinance that I believe that is going to be beneficial for the end users, as well as, the contractors from the marketing point of view, from the price structure. So it's not sacrificing any quality in a way, but it's taking, as Nick said, the bureaucratic part of it out of it.
Thank you.
Okay, we just need to approve this motion to send it up to the supervisors.
Mr. Chairman, the question, Director Hunt, if you want to make a motion, the area that we just talked about here, so do you want to make give us the statement, and we would be able to follow your lead on that?
I'd be glad to make a recommendation for a motion. I wish I could make a motion.
No, what I'm saying is that the statement, because we have a
I'd be glad to.
Ordinance and.
Yes. I would recommend to make a motion to approve the ordinances proposed by staff, and adding the additional comments that is marked up in the letter from the Lake Havasu City Building Division Manager as additional items where the 2006 building code would remain applicable.
I'll make that motion, just like you said it.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Abbott, second by Commissioner Zami. And I think we got that all down, recorded somehow, some way. Anyway, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Devin.
Item number 11.
Thank you. Chair Fluchet, members of the commission, good morning. Item number 11 is as we continue on the 2015 general plan review. And as we move on to this, the staff would kind of like to give a shout out and a thank you to all the public comments that we've received. And it is important to hear from the public as this is their document. We'd also like to thank the General Plan Review Committee. That would be Keith Walker, Robert Jones, Carl Fluchet, and Crystal Gabrielson, as well as Chair Medeiros Army. Without them, this task would not have achieved what we've had. As well, we'd like to give thanks to the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Board of Supervisors for their support throughout this process. Overall, the primary purpose of this 2015 General Plan Review was to incorporate the new elements, revise existing elements pursuant to state statutes. We are also going to update the necessary statistical data, update the current maps and exhibits, and update elements as requested by the General Plan Review Committee and the Planning and Zoning Commission. The 2015 General Plan Review was intended to be a review, not a rewrite. On May 5th, the 2015 General Plan, the entire document was strikeout and underlined, and then all the changes was placed on the website, and an email was sent out to everyone that asked to be notified when the general plan was going to be available for review. And that was sent out on May 5th of this last week. And also, staff would like to note that the maps within this general plan can be enlarged, and there is the ability, you can go in if you want to kind of zoom in to, zoom closer to properties that you can focus in on, and you're able to do that. With the exception of Mr. Davidson's comments on the April 8th Planning and Zoning Commission, staff has not actually received any additional comments since the March 17th committee workshop. For today's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, we'll be accepting comments for the entire draft general plan. And as pursuant to the state statutes, that's 11805, staff is requesting that the Planning and Zoning Commission direct us to proceed and commence with the required 60-day review and comment period for the 2015 general plan. And by requesting that, this would be in order for the document to make the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for August. And with that, we'd throw it back at the commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good job, Hal. So what we need to do here is just to do the same thing, adopt this.
But no, the commission should be direct the staff for the 60 days review.
We'd also, if, accept comments, if there's any comments on it. The commission has any questions, we're here for it. And further on then, to direct us to commence with the 60-day review period.
Okay. Well, do we have anybody from the public that wants to input any information into the general plan? Okay, well, I guess what we got is what we got.
Well, the commission is to make a motion to direct, right?
Right. Right.
There's no discussion?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll make a motion to direct the staff to proceed and commence the required 60 days review and comment period.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Zami, a
I have a
second.
question on that. Wait a minute. Can there still be inputs during the 60-day period?
Absolutely, it's
Sure.
ongoing.
Yes.
All the way up to the meeting that Board of Supervisors will have in December, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That's what I understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Zami and a second by Commissioner Buck. Any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion. I mean, a vote, a vote, a vote, a vote.
Aye.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Whatever.
Oh, the NyQuil is kicking in.
Yeah.
All right, item number,
That's tabled.
12.
Isn't that tabled though?
Mr. Chairman, item number 12 was to be the presentation of the Mohave County zoning ordinance amendments to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I want to apologize, that document is not available. We ran into more than a couple of obstacles that we were not able to overcome. So we will be presenting that to the commission in June, so we ask that you continue this item to your June meeting.
Okay. Going to have a motion to continue this for 30 days?
I'll make that motion to continue it for 30 days.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Selberg and a second by Commissioner Gabrielson. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Call to the public. Call to public. Public comment period is over with. Oh, go ahead.
Good morning. I am Margie Montgomery, and I am the director and founder of Desert Star Academy in Fort Mohave, Arizona. A little over a couple of months ago, we had applied for a zoning use permit for a piece of property at the corner of Highway 95 and Pinion Road in Mohave, in Fort Mohave. And we were supposed to be on the agenda for today. Through Mimi's office, somehow there was something that had happened in the office, and we were not able to be on the agenda. So I would like to just present this to you, because at your June meeting, I will be out of town. So I'm hoping that if I explain to you what I'm looking for and what we're planning on doing, that I won't have to change the plans.
Okay. All right.
And what we would like to do is, we would like to build an elementary school at the corner of Pinion and Highway 95. There is a frontage road there. This is right across Pinion Street from the Colorado Union High School District offices, as well as the Mohave County Library. We would like to build a school, an elementary K-5 school for roughly 300 children on 2.5 acres, and the remaining 2.5 acres we would like to build a playground and a park that would be able to be utilized by the community in the surrounding area. It is currently zoned as a C2 zone, and so we would need the zoning use permit in order to put the elementary school there. It would fit under the zone as a public institution. We did some research on that, and therefore we feel that with your permission and your approval, that we would be able to begin construction to have an operating school within the next year.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may add, it's like a charter school, right?
Yes, it is a public charter school. We are sponsored through the Arizona State Board for Charter Schools. We are just the same as Mohave Accelerated Learning Center, Builders Academy, Young Scholars Academy. This is our first year of opening. We started with 60 kids. We now have 103, and we have 170 on the waiting list for next year, so we are currently out of space.
Most definitely, it's in the right location. You don't have that service drive that, would eliminate any possibility of accidents or anything like that. So I think it's a wonderful location. It's well needed, and it's walking distance from the library. So that's going to be very beneficial to the kids.
Absolutely, and we've already started working with programs through the library, so we would be able to have our children go through the library once a week with a close proximity. So I think it would be a great improvement to the community, and also we were able to continue a service to the community by providing those kids a place to play, a safe place to play, and easy access. Thank you so much, and I do understand that this will be on the June meeting. I'm sure Mimi will have some conversations when you guys get back to the office. I spoke with her earlier this morning, so hopefully if there's any other questions that I could answer, I would like to do that, as I plan to vacation for your June meeting, and I don't think I'll be able to be here.
Okay.
I think you've given us some good comments. Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A second?
Motion by Commissioner Abbott, second by Commissioner Gabrielson. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting's adjourned.
Chairman is not.
You know what? I am.